Hey guys, it's time for me to do my January wrap-up and book haul plus February TBR, and I only have 26 minutes left in my camera, so we're gonna have to do this really fast so that I make sure I get everything on there, okay? I made a wonderful discovery at my library this month. I found not one, but two of my very favorite books on audio for the very first time. And literally for the first time. I was the first person to check this one out, so this is brand new, which means none of the discs are scratched. Can I get a holla? I am halfway through this one. It is one of my favorite books, Wildwood Dancing by Juliet Marillier. Historical fantasy, fairy tale retellings of Frog Prince, the 12 Dancing Princesses, oh yeah, and vampires. Vampires that don't sparkle. But this one is really just the piece de resistance. This I have wanted to hear on audio for years. I heard somebody say that it's really good on audio. Half Moon Investigations by Owen Colfer is one of my very favorite books. This is probably, this might be the book that I've actually read the most in my entire life. I've read it a lot. I read it probably every year. So, I mean, I read this book a lot. It's one of my favorite books. This is one of the books that I will just pick up from my shelf because it's right here. I will just pick this up from my shelf when I am feeling a little blue or I want something funny, and I will just randomly select a passage and start reading. This is that kind of book. I adore this book, and I heard that the audiobook was really good, and you know what? They were right! Love this audiobook. Half Moon Investigations by Owen Colfer, guys. Seriously, if you haven't read or listened to this, you need to. I think Coulson was hiding there last time. We should probably move him. So, for my wrap-up, I actually did not read a whole lot of books this month. I don't really know why, but I haven't been doing a lot of reading. I think I've been working on a bunch of other stuff, and I really can't remember off the top of my head what it is. So maybe I've just been watching a lot of TV and crap. But for this month, I did read, or at least I'm about to finish, Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. This is a reread, so it's not showing up very well on my Goodreads reading thing, because apparently I cannot remember how to tell Goodreads that I am rereading a book. If anybody can help me figure that out, that would be awesome. Steelheart, magnificent book. So excited to read the next one. I love this book. This is the book that got me to dress up in a cape and a mask for a book review. And okay, let's be honest, it's probably not that hard to convince me to dress up in a cape and a mask to do a book review. But it was still fun. Because I can't get enough of audiobooks this month, I am also listening to The Irregulars by Jeanette Conant. This is Roald Dahl and the British Spy Ring in Wartime, Washington. So basically, Roald Dahl, author of such classics as Matilda and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and the BFG and James and the Giant Peach, was basically hanging out in Washington during World War II, and well, I don't really know that he was spying necessarily on America, but he was kind of keeping tabs on what America was doing during the war to kind of make sure that, I guess that they supported England as the war got worse. So I'm only like a part way through this, so I don't really know everything yet, but Roald Dahl, Ian Fleming, author of the James Bond novels, there were several guys who were in this little group in Washington during World War II, and they called themselves the Irregulars, after Sherlock Holmes' Baker Street Irregulars, so awesome in flesh. I did finish New X-Men Volume 1. I believe that was the exact title, The New X-Men Volume 1. Kind of interesting. I guess I'm not really a huge X-Men fan, but I am gonna read the, like the original Volume 1 of, like, the original X-Men at some point. I also started Hidden Mickey by David Smith and Nancy Temple Rodriguez. I feel like I should be able to pronounce that, but the word is just not coming out right. I'm getting ready to go to Disneyland. I love Disneyland. I love all things Disney, and oh my gosh, this has all things Disney. I love this book because I feel like I'm there, and this is actually the perfect time for me to read it because I'm actually going to be there, so it's not making me nostalgic for Disneyland and information and trivia and Disney. Disney. That's all you need to know. Now, for my book haul for this month, I got a couple of ebooks. Open Minds. This is the first book of the Mind Jack trilogy by Susan K. Quinn. It sounded really, really interesting. First book of the series, free on Barnes & Noble, so of course I'm going to give it a try. But the reason that I found this book was actually because I heard about another book that Susan K. Quinn had written called Third Daughter. Okay, so the cover is interesting, right? Interesting, right? Well, what you can't see is that it's all steampunk, too. Like, steampunk. So, this is the first book in the Darien Affairs trilogy. It is Bollywood punk. This is steampunk meets Bollywood. So we're talking sword fights, airships, and Indian culture. That sounds amazing to me. I don't know if you are as excited as I am to discover this, but I cannot wait to read this because, oh my goodness, it sounds mind-boggling, does it not? I am so excited about this book! First book, also free on Barnes & Noble. I mean, so like, if you are as intrigued as I am about this Bollywood punk, go get it right now. Right now. Also, have I mentioned before how I love thrift stores? Tuesdays at the Castle by Jessica Day George, which I have actually never read, and I'm totally going to read now because I love Jessica Day George, and I love middle grade fantasy, so. Scorpia by Anthony Horowitz. For the longest time, this was the only Alex Rider book that I did not own. My collection was not complete because I did not own this book. And then Anthony Horowitz went and came out with like 3 more books, so now this is not the only book that I'm missing, but it is going to fit just right there in the middle, because it was missing. Austin Land by Shannon Hale. Love this book. Love the fact that I picked it up for $1. I mean, I would pay more for it because it's totally worth it, but still, I got a book for $1. I got a really, really good book for $1. And then, because you can't find all books quite so cheap, Firefight by Brandon Sanderson. Then you guys are all gonna think I'm crazy because this is actually the first book of my TBR. I have had this book sitting on my desk for 2.5 weeks, and I haven't started it yet because I'm rereading Steelheart, and for some reason it's taking me an unearthly amount of time to read it. So I haven't yet gotten to this. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry because I'm so excited to read this. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to take this on my vacation, and I'm never even gonna want to walk into Disneyland because I want to be reading Firefight by Brandon Sanderson. I just don't know what to do. My week is gonna be crazy. February TBR, first and foremost, Firefight by Brandon Sanderson. I'm also wanting to read Jacoby by William Ritter. I just found this while I was checking in books at work. Working at a library can be really, really awesome. And I mean, I was kind of intrigued by the cover, right? Right? Jacoby? I thought maybe this was a Jack the Ripper story, and I was curious, so I'm flipping open the inside flap, kind of scanning, reading. Doctor Who meets Sherlock in a debut novel, the first in a series, brimming with cheeky humor and a dose of the macabre. Doctor Who meets Sherlock? I'll take that bet. So I got this. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to tell you whether or not I think it's actually Doctor Who met Sherlock, and whether or not it is totally worth both or either fandom's time. Stay tuned. Another random find at the library is Rex Libris, I, Librarian. I don't know, it's a graphic novel of some kind, and the more I look at the art, the more I wonder whether it's going to be good, but it's about a librarian who basically kicks butt and saves the world, so I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. This has already made an appearance several times, so we'll see if I actually get around to it next month or not. You know how that goes. Mitosis by Brandon Sanderson. If I do not finish Steelheart by the end of the month and I do not read this before then, I am definitely going to read it first thing next month. This is a novella that comes after Steelheart and before Firefight. Yeah. And then just a couple more graphic novels. I have Guardians of the Galaxy, The Trial of Jean Grey. This is volume 3 in the Guardians of the Galaxy storyline that I just kind of stumbled into, so totally. And The New Avengers volume 1. I am really excited to meet Black Panther because I have never read or really seen any kind of superhero Marvel thing with Black Panther in it. I know next to nothing about Black Panther, so I'm very intrigued to meet this character. and I'll let you know what I think. And also because, of course, I'm ridiculously excited about this find, Third Daughter by Susan K. Quinn is also going to be on my TBR for February. And I have picked a ridiculous amount of books to read in February, so you know, and I know, that I probably won't get through them all, but we'll give it a try. Oh yeah, we'll give it a try.